life is an arcade. I wanna play every single game. These bright lights are making my heart race. Let's go.
But let's get into, like I said, we'll make this a 2-part episode. We'll talk about business now, where I've been at with business, and then I'm gonna interview him a little bit about like how he started his business, which is a restaurant, and yeah, just like where he started out from the bottom, and kind of like how he's been like a lead inspiration into me and why I wanted to become an entrepreneur. So basically where I've been at and why I haven't been posting for the brand, and there's no clothing drops, and the podcast, I needed a break. I already told you guys the season thing was planned. That's was supposed to be a thing, but what wasn't supposed to be a thing is how long I've been on a hiatus. I was planning on coming back around March, but then like the Egypt trip kind of came up. Like we talked about it, but it really wasn't set in stone. So like it finally got set in stone, and then it was just like March is just not a good time because I like I said, I went to the fashion show second week of February, and then second week of March we went to Egypt for 2 weeks. So it's like I didn't even have the time, so when it just wasn't worth it for me. Podcast wise or clothing drop wise, I really want to drop something in the spring. But basically, like I said, Jordan and I split, and we still have a friendship. I don't know. He said he would come on the podcast. We still haven't set that in stone, so I might be on here solo a lot, but he might be co-hosting some or the other. That's not set in stone. But I learned a lot basically from the first year of doing this, and I didn't do it for a full year. I think I started last February, and then we ended in November. So like just from that time frame, where I've been at now is like I feel like a lot of stuff was rushed kind of when it came to the podcast and just like trying to set up like what topics we wanted to talk about. I think a lot of the topics were fine. The podcast I don't think was as rushed, but like clothing wise seemed rushed to me, especially when I was printing it myself. I was trying to go so fast and just get shit done that I was making mistakes. So everyone that supported, I want to thank you, but I want to apologize for like shirts that have not stayed intact as well as I wanted them to. But like I said, it's part of the reason why I stopped printing them myself, but I also felt like things were getting rushed. I think I was more focused on, even though I said I wasn't, like the podcast, I'm not, like I come on here true, but like when it come to like clothing wise, I really was focused on like more of like profiting and actually trying to make my money back. And I was spending a lot of money up front to make things happen. So then I was like, how the fuck do I make this money back to like pay for other stuff, for like other drops, other stuff for the brand, but also like pay for my bills and stuff like that. So I was like rushing the process, and then, you just learn a lot. I've never was a business owner before. Like I got to watch him run a business, but it's in a completely different field. So like I did learn a lot from him, but also like it's such a different fucking field that there's a lot that like, it's just like with everything in life, you think you might know, but you don't learn until you like make the mistakes that need to be learned in the process of starting stuff. So I'm taking it a lot slower this season. When I wanted to plan to drop, just didn't happen, and now I'm not pressuring myself when to drop. So I think I'm aiming actually like late summer. I was hoping early summer, but I think I'm gonna aim for late summer. And even if it doesn't happen by late summer, I know there will be something clothing wise that will drop before the end of this year. But yeah, I just learned a lot. I made mistakes, and I like reevaluated from that, and just taking it day by day and trying to figure out shit like that. Like all the mistakes I made, how can I be better? And just evaluating where we were at. I also think we did a good job for first-time business owners and shit like that. First year, I think we did an amazing job. I think Jordan and I did a good job. But like I said, there's still a lot of mistakes that can be cleaned up and stuff that can be changed, stuff I could do better. And yeah, like I said, I just learned a lot. And now it's just been like the reevaluation process of like, okay, this is how this went. This is how I'd like it to go. What did I do wrong? What could I do better? Even stuff like little stuff like running ads. Where can I save money? Where can I put more money towards ads? Where can I save money here? Where can I put that money towards like reallocating funds? How do I make more money? Not just like profit, but like how do I make more money to reinvest into the brand, and like how do I use my money smarter? There's just a lot. Like I said, there's just a lot you learn fucking starting a business, that even like it don't matter like taking classes for business. Like I said, I was a business minor, but like you don't learn stuff until it's like hands on. There's just so much you don't learn. I feel like he'll talk about that a lot too. There's just so much shit that you don't learn until you just dive into it, and then you're like, fuck, I could have did this, or fuck, this needs to be different, or I know I need to change this, and I can do this better, this could be different. So we're just taking it slower this time, and being a lot smarter about our moves. So I've been taking a long time revamping the podcast logo, to be honest. It's been like in a pretty close to like final stage. I'm just making so many minor changes. Like now the last thing I'm on right now is like the background of it and the color. I thought I had the color set, but now I put a couple different options on it. It's blue, but it's like different shades. And like after I redid the podcast logo, that wasn't something even like when I was doing it that I realized like, holy shit, like I really rushed the podcast logo just to get the podcast out. Because looking at the podcast logo from last year and now looking at the new logo, it like takes the same silhouette, but it's just so much more developed and so much better now. So yeah, like I said, I'm just gonna take my time. I will get stuff out, hopefully, like I said, clothing wise by end of summer. I'm hoping August. And then whenever you guys hear this, you obviously heard it. I don't know when, like I said, I don't know when this episode's coming out, but it's April 24th, May. I would say it'll be out sometime in May. So I'm guessing if you heard this, it's sometime in May. If not, apologies. Like I said, I'm not going to rush the process anymore. I'm not giving up and I'm not done. And I apologize for everyone that's like looking forward to stuff or waiting or forgets about it. But like, we're just trying to come back better and stronger than what I had going before. So that's where I'm at with the business. And now I'll start talking about like him as a business owner. I don't know where it's going to go, but like it could get into like some things I've learned from him. Like I said, we've had a lot of talks, but like he made the business obviously for him and our family, and he would like me to take it over, which is like a hard talk we have. But like because of him, he's the whole like inspiration mainly and reason that like I started my own business, and like I want to start from scratch and do it all by myself, even though it's like a different industry. So basically now I'll let you talk about like what it was like for you starting a business, and like what made you want to start a restaurant, how you went about it, where does that come from, what made you want to start a restaurant, what made you want to start a business, and then how it's gone, like everything, maybe like I said, same thing, lessons, what have you learned? Is it like once you jump in is like you finally learn a bunch of shit, and then like how you became from basically literally nothing and being in debt to where you're at now?
Okay, first of all, for most of the people, I probably know most people that watch podcasts. In case you don't, Papa J Dub. I own JW's Third Base. We've had it for a little over 18 years now. Wanted to do the restaurant thing probably junior high, something like that, somewhere around there. Always wanted to either own restaurant, bar, club, hotel, something along those lines. When I went into the military, I worked part-time in restaurants, just trying to get experience before I went. When I was in high school, junior high, whatnot, I always worked in restaurants part-time. I had a couple jobs at the time. But then after the military, I got out, moved to Florida, was down in Florida 7 years, something like that. Started out bar backing in a restaurant, moved up to serving, then moved up to manager, then general manager. Then me and two other people that worked there, we ended up buying our own place. We ran that. I think I ran that for 3 years, 2 or 3 years, and then I ended up moving back here. Partners thing is that's one thing I'll get into. The hardest thing about owning a business is partners. Everybody's going to have their own ideas, their own things they want to do. They want to spend money on this, want to take out money for this. So that was the first biggest thing for me. Lesson was working with two really good friends of mine and owning a business, because it kind of cut our friendship away, because wasn't that we were fighting anything, but it's just everybody had their own ideas. One guy ran the kitchen, I pretty much ran the front, and the third guy kind of did the front, kind of did this and that here and there. We all had different ideas. After a couple of years, it just went separate ways. But anyhow, then we ended up moving back here to Illinois. Worked at a restaurant right when I moved here. Then I worked at another restaurant being a general manager. Ended up buying that restaurant, which was a Papa John's. Bought that and turned it into JW's. And then we were at the JW's location, the first location, for 5 years. And then I moved to this location. It's been 13 years now. But it was hard. It's tough. Like when people aren't lying and they say, if you make it, it takes such years to get
Profit.
to a profit, a good point. Because I mean, it took probably at least
Longer than normal. Usually it's 10.
it took
10 on average.
it took at least 10 years to get even
Comfortable.
yeah. But the last couple of years have gone really well. We've did probably the best sales we've ever done. We've changed a few things. The hardest part right now, which everybody in the world knows, is staff. It's just impossible to get staff. You just can't find staff. Nobody wants to work anymore. And if they do, they want $1 million an hour and they just don't want to work. That's the hardest thing. So, I mean, lessons learned. I mean, like I said, partners were hard. The biggest thing is don't spend all your money as soon as you get it. As soon as you start making money, don't just go and spend it. Go and spend it. Yes, you want to reinvest in your business. You want to reinvest, but just don't be stupid about it and just like, oh, I made $1,000 a day. I'm gonna go out and buy freaking $500 worth of clothes or freaking new shoes and that, and then all of a sudden the next day you get a bill because something broke in your restaurant or yada yada, and then you're out that money. That's you always want to have. The way I was taught is you always want to have enough money in your account to be able to last for 6 months in case something happens. You want to have money for payroll. You want to have money in case your equipment breaks. You want to have money just for emergencies. That's the biggest thing I was taught. And the people that taught me in Florida, the couple owners, the one owner, he taught me quite a bit about business. And then when I moved up here to run restaurants up here, I got taught by quite some pretty good people. So I mean, I've had some pretty good teachers that have taught me quite a lot of lessons that I'm glad they taught me. So I mean, for your case, the biggest thing, my biggest eye opener was when we went to Vegas to the fashion show, because I've always done restaurants. I've done fashion, never even thought about doing anything with that. And it's just totally eye opening because it's on the same lines as the restaurant, because we went to the show. I go to food shows all the time and they have your merchants, but I didn't know that much had went into clothing line. I mean, we're looking at tags on the back of your shirt. We're looking at just different lettering for your shirts. We're different threading. And I'm like,
hang tags, wash tags, neck tags.
I'm just in awe.
Bag tags.
I'm in and just the amount of people there and the different distributors and connections. I'm like, this is crazy. This is just stuff I'd never thought. Well, I'm just thinking I go to buy a t-shirt. I'm like, oh, somebody printed a t-shirt. That's all. No, there's so much more that goes into it and so many more costs that I didn't know had went into it. So yeah, I mean, it's the show is along the same lines, but it's like totally different businesses, totally different. So, but yeah, my biggest thing for you to be like I say, just make sure this time for your next drops, just start. I know you want to keep dropping, like you said, you rushed, you kept dropping, and now you just got to wait, take your time, invest your money into your shirts back in. Don't spend what you don't have. And you don't really have the employees, so you have to worry about that yet. Not yet. I mean, you'll get there.
Manufacturers are not employees, but relationships. But yeah, I'm paying these guys, but not paying them like a payroll.
Your biggest thing right now is getting connections, because like I said, my biggest connection is finding food distributors that distribute certain foods I want. Yours is you got to find certain one's going to ship for this cost, or someone's going to
charge samples. Not paying for samples. That's like a huge cost.
Yes. Yeah. So I mean, I think you're doing very well. Very proud of how you've gone so far. Like, especially like I said, from me being a restaurateur to you doing totally something different. Like I said, I did the restaurant thinking you or your sister Genevieve do it, but now she's a biochemist doing her thing. You're going to do your thing. So we'll figure it out for restaurant wise. It's not like JW's ever going to go away anywhere.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of things that I try and teach you each day about certain, okay, when you start doing your t-shirts here, remember you have to look into this. You have to look into this license, or you have to look into this profit margin for this. I mean, it's the same type of thing. You're looking have the best profits margin, spend the least amount of money. I mean, that's the whole name of the game for every business. But your biggest thing, like I said, is when you start selling, get to the point where you're selling and just reinvesting in. So then you have money back in your account that if something happens, or all of a sudden you're like, you know what? I think I'm going to just do a surprise drop right now. And you got that money in your account, you could surprise drop it. And then when you sell the stuff and put it right back in. I mean, of course, you're going to take some out for spending or whatnot. But just reinvesting and coming up with ideas. You being a graphic designer helps so tremendously because you have all different ideas you can do. Me being owner of a restaurant, I mean, I have ideas for food. That's the same type of thing. I have different food I want to do. You have different t-shirts you want to do, different clothing, different pants, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's been the thing I think the most I take from like what I learned a lot from you is like learning how to run a business, honestly. Like literally just learning how to run a bit. Like how do you handle obstacles? Or like how do you handle bad things going on in the business, not just like the good and the bad. Like I observed like, okay, the same thing, like money issues. How do you handle this? What do you do for this? And then also same thing. Just it was really a lot of stuff like obstacles, but also money. Like so like where do you put money here? How much should I save here? Like, okay, I need this much money for this much money for taxes. Make sure that I got this X amount of money. And same thing, like also like details basically. Like you said, like I was eye opening for me because even at that show, same thing. You're saying like the details that go into it. I think that's been a hard thing. Like I said, I pay attention to you in details, but that's also just something I learned at the show. Like I was trying to hit those details, and there's also like stuff that I was missing. Like I said, I was rushing processes last year that I don't want to rush this year because there is so much fucking shit that goes into it. And that's not just like my business. Like you said, that's the same thing with like a restaurant. There's a lot more things that go into like my business and even the restaurant business. There's just like little things that like people don't understand and people don't see. Yeah. People don't appreciate.
They don't see behind the scenes.
Yeah, they don't see the BTS and all the shit that you got to deal with and go through. Like something I paid attention to a lot is like how much adversity I feel like that you and mom have gone through.
Like I said, we weren't for easily probably 10 years not profitable. I mean, we were. It got to points. It's like, do we keep it going? Do we keep going? I mean, we had a good business. We couldn't find a way to expand it more. Like we were kind of stuck. Like we have the best wings around. We have good pizza. We have good sandwiches, but we just couldn't get the people to try and get the people come in. And then it just clicked one day. It just like it all happened at once. Like it was just like bam, and we just were like, wow. And it's just kept going and kept going. And with shutting down with COVID, that kind of hurt, but we were still able to stay open for delivery, so that helped us because we were one of the places that were still be able to deliver, so that helped.
COVID is like weird, honestly, but like he said, like honestly, COVID was like our first like amazing year. That actually sounds crazy. Like it hurt. Like the worst thing it hurt was like food costs and shit like that. But for like honestly, like customer wise, and like he said, trying to get people to reach out and stuff and like gain the customers, COVID saved us. COVID's brought us so many like new customers.
Yeah, because we were like one of the only places open. Serve, yeah. So then finally people were like, oh, we're gonna try out, and then they loved it, and then they just told more people and more people.
So like COVID was like shitty just for like pricing and shit, I feel like, and not having the dine-in open, but like overall in general that brought us so much more customers. So COVID was like a first good year. I think not good, but yeah, I think where like it all started, to be honest. Like somewhere around there.
I'm pretty sure lost money the first year of COVID, then the second year we made money, I think, because we had all the new customers and they were trying it out and then we got to open up the dining room part-time, and then they all started coming in. But the biggest obstacle, like I said, is employees. It's hard to keep employees in the restaurant business. You know that. I mean, everybody on here that has anything to do in restaurants, and that's another thing like behind the scenes that people don't understand. It's like we have to have people run the place. We don't just like we have customers come in and sometimes they'll have to wait for whatever. And it's like, why is it taking so long? Well, we do carry out, we do delivery. We don't just do dining. You don't see behind the scenes that, yeah, there might be 2 tables in the restaurant, but there's 25 tickets sitting in the back and they're all deliveries or pickups. People don't understand that. That's the biggest thing. Another big thing is like dealing with, like you said, it's how do I deal with like adversities and stuff? The biggest thing is dealing with customers and employees because you don't want to lose your cool. I mean, you gotta. The saying in JW is where it's like the customer's not always right because they're not. That's the biggest thing. Everybody says the customer's always right. They're not. Nowadays, it's not like that. Maybe way back in the day it used to be, but now no. You'll get a customer that say they have something wrong, just minuscule, and they'll do whatever they can, tell you 10 different things to get something free. or they'll order something. You tell them, well, don't get hot wings because they're too hot, and they'll order hot, and I don't like them. You ordered them. What do you want me to do? You ordered them. I mean, it's stuff. This I'm paying for, so you're gonna pay for it.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing. Dealing with stuff like that, just minuscule complaints, and then employees just coming in late, not coming in, just not wanting to work, and just having it getting so angry. It's like, I'm going out of town tonight, whatever. You told me you would work. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't. And then you got to change your plans, and you just can't blow up on them because you just have to deal with it.
As a business owner.
Yeah.
I think it's been hard for me because I don't evaluate this, but like when we sit here and talk about it, I evaluate it, and maybe this is also like, I feel like it keeps me going, but I don't think, like, I never thought it kept me going to like I feel like I keep going just because I keep going, just like how I've become as a person, like personality wise. But like something that's driven me, I feel like that, like I think about more is like you said, like you've supported since I started, but like watching, like I like a lot of people don't know this, and I don't even know if he wants me to talk about like his money situation. But this dude was in so much debt, it's unbelievable, like because of the restaurant, and people don't know that. Like this guy would come home in like middle school every day and tell me that he was gonna fucking close the restaurant. Like, so like people don't understand that kind of shit. So like, even though like I tell you, and maybe that's probably why you tell me that, is like I tell you all the time, like it's so fucking hard for me, and like I'm not making money, and I'm not doing this for my business and this and that. But you always tell me like you said, just like be patient, like shit like that. Like it doesn't come overnight and stuff like that. Now like the more I fucking think about it now, it's the same thing. Like I watched you literally for like almost 12 years, like literally, and for like 5 straight years, tell me for like almost every day that like, yo, I don't think JW's gonna be open this week. I don't think we're gonna keep it open this week. We don't have the money. Like so, to be able to watch you fucking go through that, and then now like it makes so much more sense why you always telling me that, like even though like it's not going great now, like that's just like that's the part of business. Like if you want to be a fucking business owner, like you gotta understand that's like how business works. Like it's hard. It's not fucking easy.
I mean, we maxed out every credit card, took every loan we could possibly take, did everything possible we could do, and it was at the last straw. It was like, I don't know what else to do. I mean, we were going day by day for the restaurant, whatever. We made $50. We're paying $20 here, $30 the next day, making $50. So I mean, we weren't spending money on anything. We weren't doing anything. Weren't going anywhere. Yeah, I mean, it's tough, and so that's why I always tell you, and you're like, now that it's still hard as hell because, like I said, I can't get employees. So I'm still, everybody's like, well, I don't see you as often anymore. I'm like, well, I'm trying not to work as much because I've done it for so long, and
shouldn't have to.
And I'm trying to give them, my employees are the ones that want them, and that's the biggest thing. It's like you're like, well, I want to do that too. I want to go do that, and I'm like, it'll come. I mean, you see me go do whatever. Go say I go to Wisconsin. Went to Wisconsin this weekend, or take a trip. You're like, well, I want to. I'm like, well, you just gotta wait till your brand hits. It'll hit eventually. It's just not gonna happen overnight. And it's like, I'm not the same age as you. I'm 51. I've been doing this since I was 14. So I mean, I took years and years, and now it's at the point where I'm like, well, I wanted to start taking some time back and not be there as often and whatever. But I'm still, like I said, that's people don't see behind the scenes. They might not see me as much as you used to in the restaurant, but they don't see me getting there at 8 in the morning, 7:30 in the morning, doing all the prep, doing all the food orders, paying all the bills. I might not be out front or serving drinks. I might not be cooking, but I'm still there doing stuff behind the scenes that people don't see. And that's the biggest thing. Like
the business, the actual business.
I know people, it's JDO. People come to see JDO. That's one of the reasons, like my friends come there. They want to see me. I'm like, well, sometimes I'm here super early, and by the time 4 or 5 o'clock comes, I've already been in there 8, 9 hours doing stuff. I'm ready to go home.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's your biggest thing to work on. It's just it'll come. It's gonna take time. I mean, you're only 25 years old. I didn't even buy JWs till I was 30, 18, 33, 32. So I mean, you're already ahead of me. When I was 25 years old, I think that's when I was still in Florida waiting tables or bar backing or something. I don't even remember.
I think the hardest part too is, like, we talk about this a lot, like it doesn't really even have to do with the brand. Like, I just don't want to be here.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I don't want to be in Rock Falls.
And that's the thing you got to wait on too, because, like I said, you got to have money to move away. You got to have money. I mean, it's just going to take time. And like I've told you.
Yeah, like I'm doing a lot of stuff right now that requires a lot of money. Like, I got to, like the brand requires a lot of
Yeah.
fucking money. So
Yeah.
like for me to move right now is really hard because like all my money obviously pretty much now goes towards bills for here, and then whatever left I can put towards the brand. But even at that, like whatever goes into the brand, you know, like I'm broke. Like I don't have money after that to just be like, all right, I can put savings away to move.
Yeah.
Type shit.
And another big thing is just we took out some loans that just basically should have been through loan sharks. I mean, we're taking out a $5,000 loan and paying back $30,000. I mean, because I couldn't take any other loans. I mean, that's the worst thing you could do. Don't ever just.
And that's the thing I'm
just
not doing.
Yeah,
I'm
do
not
that.
taking out
And
loans
that's
for the
some
business.
stuff which
and
the
shit
people
like
are going
that.
to see. You got some new stuff coming on. You're going to start doing like some sponsorship, different things, and getting some people out there to get some money in to help you. And that's all. I mean, I asked people, and I had a couple people that invested in me and helped me out and did this and that, and it helps. I mean, if you can find stuff with that, don't have to worry about
Seed money.
taking out any credit card loans or anything like that, because those will kill you. That's one thing about did kill is taking out loans.
I think that that's just the hardest part now too. Like I said, like I don't know what it is about Rock Falls, but like now, especially like all my friends are gone, you know. So like it makes it even harder on me.
Yeah.
I know like I am doing a lot for myself, but I feel like I also don't give myself enough credit. But like I just it's hard to fucking stay here because I really like this is the one place I don't want to be is Rock Falls, and like all my friends are fucking gone.
Yeah.
Like they're all. I got one. I have some friends in Dixon still, but like my closest friends that I had my whole life are all gone. My last closest friend is moving in a month or in less than a month, and I'm gonna be the last one here. So like I feel like I'm not doing anything for the fact
and like I said, and you're young. I mean,
I'm still at Rock Falls.
I was the same way, but I was married and had you guys when I was young. So I mean, I had responsibilities that most people didn't have at that age, and I had to take care of my responsibilities. Where you said you're younger, so yeah, you want to go out and do everything. That's why I said get your stuff set here. It's going to take a while, but you can always still have your home base here and still travel and promote your brand and just go to different places and use that as part of your money when you start making money. Use that as part of like, okay, I'm going to take this trip here. I'm going to go promote my brand here and see what happens here, and then maybe you start hiring a couple employees that are out of state and be like, all right, this is your job to take care of it here. You start here, and here's your office, and start selling my stuff here for me. I'm going to be over back in Rock Falls doing the stuff I have to do there. That could be a step for you there, meeting people in other towns and having them promote it for you since you can't be there right now.
I really need like, obviously it's been a thing, but we talked about ambassadors. That's like kind of like what that is. Except I'm not gonna give someone a whole shop probably like that. I would definitely, if I'm doing that, I'd probably move wherever I have like an actual headquarters. But like I definitely need ambassadors, and I mean that's a good thing. Like that's been a problem here for me is because I don't know how to treat these ambassadors because like I don't make money where I can fucking pay them. And I look at like all these other companies and like big companies don't pay their ambassadors. They fucking just give them a discount code. But like there's other like clothing companies I watch, they like pay them based on sales and stuff. But like I'm just not at a point where like I can get ambassadors where I can I can pay you money. You know what I mean? So it's been like that's been like part of this journey right now. Like I'm already told on the podcast that I've been working on ambassadors, and I've made a lot of connections where I feel like I could have ambassadors in a lot of good areas in big cities where I can't like be at the time. And they just got like, I got like people on social media that have different followings that I don't reach, that I'm trying to reach. They have that following, but I just, I don't know how to like make it fair for the ambassador as well. Yeah. You know, like if I'm just giving you a discount code, like, does that really help them out? Not really.
And like I say, you can't really afford to pay them that. I mean, you could do.
I mean, I could give them like a 10% discount code for like the people that follow, but then give them their own discount code for maybe like 20%, like a bigger percentage.
Or do something where
like their 10% code is just for customers, but then they have a separate code that they use that they get more money off or something. Like that was like the thing we talked about, like that. And then like once a month you order something, like you're required to order like once a month if I'm dropping that often. And in each one of those drops, you'll get like something that's not going to release or some shit, or something that's very limited. You know, something that like one of my most limited drops, or something that's like unreleased at the time, something like that. But that's hard. Yeah, that's been a hard like obstacle to overcome because I don't know how to really go about it without paying these people, and I don't. It's hard to be like, we've been an ambassador, and then what if like they ask me like, is it paid? Like, what am I? no, it's not. Then
The
like, are
internship.
they gonna say yeah? You know,
It's an internship.
That's-
It could turn into paid, depending on how well you do.
yeah. They could be like, well, could be paid. But-
Just how well you do. How many items do you sell for me and stuff like that, and it could turn into paid.
Yeah, so
Like I said, especially with all your friends moving away, be like, all right, man, you got to help me promote my brand while you're living here, you're living here, you're living. Then you see how good of friendships you have. You know,
yeah.
how good your friends are and how much they want to help. That's the biggest thing.
I
Like
mean,
we talked.
Riley's been on my ass.
Yeah,
He's been
the
so on
Dixie
my
Boys promote you pretty
yeah,
well.
they promote me well.
But that's the thing.
He's been on my ass about being an ambassador, and I just haven't set it up.
We've talked about here about this,
Dino too.
about this area. It's like for some reason this area they don't want to support like local people. Like they just want to hate. They don't want you to succeed. They don't want to see you do well. They don't want to do it. And it's like, well, help me do it. I'm not going to help you. Why? I just want to help. It's like they don't want to see you do well. It's
Yeah.
like we're supposed to be really good friends and help me out. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same with it was the same with the restaurant. I mean, I have all supposedly good friends of mine and blah, blah, blah. And they go out to eat every day. I didn't see any of them in the restaurant ever. Never.
Well, I said that to Mom the other day. It's like, I got people that I'm friends with that I went to high school with that I'm still friends with that like come into the restaurant, obviously. But I went to high school with so many people and I was friends and made a lot of connections in high school. Not a single one of them people come to JW's.
Yeah.
I know it's not my restaurant, but you are my friend. And we are not like unbiasedly saying this. We are like top 3 restaurants, probably one in my opinion. Obviously, that's biased. Other people would disagree, but top 3 restaurants in the area, and they don't even come in. So like that makes me mad, and it's not even my restaurant, you know.
And you'll get the same thing
And I've been friends with, I have a lot of fucking people that I'd be like, that should be coming in.
And you'll get the same thing with your brand as I do with mine. That then they do come in like, what are you gonna give me for free? What do you mean? What am I gonna give you for free? Well, we're supposed to be good friends, aren't you?
That's
just my business. Do I go to where you work and ask to get stuff for free? If I do go to friends of mine that work places, I pay them to do stuff. I don't ask for free stuff.
That's the hardest part is like everyone wants some sort of deal. Yeah. Not like a lot of my friends don't really bug me for deals. But like when I reach out to people and ask like, well, you're gonna give me money off? What do you mean?
That's the biggest
like it's different. Like I haven't made it yet. So like you should be supporting me. And then when I make it, you'll be getting some free fucking shit because you supported me and you were a close friend. But like when I'm first starting off, and I can't afford to be giving out stuff.
You always remember the little guys that helped you when you first started, and they did, like you're saying, they were an ambassador. They did everything for you, and maybe you didn't even ask them to. You're they're just promoting you ever, and then you get big and like, dude, here's a freaking brand new fucking car from helping me 10 years ago or whatever. And like, what?
Exactly.
It's
and I want it to be like that, you know?
Yeah.
I want to be able to do things like that. Like, obviously that's a fucking goal, like that's like a high end goal, but like you want to reach big. That's like shit I want to do, but yeah, it's like you got to have people that even want to help you first. Yeah. I like you said, I've had some good friends around here that have done a lot to support and send that out, but I've also had a lot of people that I expected to support that don't support at all. I don't even hear from them, or they don't share. And even some people that I've been pretty close with that don't even share it. Like it's different. Like, okay, maybe you don't buy. I get it. Like I stopped getting mad at people that didn't buy because it's like not up their alley, like high end fashion and clothing. That's not really like some of my friends, they're not into that. But like they still like share it. But then I even have close friends that like don't even share, and it's like, what the fuck, bro? Like, you can't even take 2 seconds to share this, like literally takes 1 second. You see that, do it, share it on your story, like, because even sharing to me is like, you're doing something, you're still helping me out.
Yep. You're helping
it doesn't take, it's not that hard to do something like that, and you said it yourself. Like I fucking share everybody, even if I've had one conversation with this person in like the last like 4 years, like anybody in the last 3 to 4 years that I've met, like since I've really like changed and like grown and become like a different person, just like really came into myself and shit like that. Any person I've met in like that 4 years, I'll share their shit.
You share everybody's stuff, and that's it. That's just like the same thing as, like I said, getting people out of town. We went to Vegas and we're talking to the couple of the car dealers, and you got all their information. She was sharing your stuff like the next day, and we didn't even know this girl, and she was helping you. I was like, I'll help you out, and sharing stuff. And she's like, hey, if you ever come out here, get a hold of me, and maybe I can help you find some place or find a roommate. I mean, stuff like that. But it just then you have friends that you think that would do that and then they don't. It's just part of the, like you said, that's another obstacle of business. You have friends that you thought would be die hard for you, ride or die, and then they don't. It's like, but I did all this for you. I know I've done all this for you, and I didn't ask anything in return.
Yeah, and it's not like I expect it in return, but it's more like I don't expect it because I shared your stuff. It's just more along like we're friends.
Yeah.
Like if we're friends,
support
like,
my business.
And also like I also said like I don't get mad like from the random support around here because I know like this is not my market is not Rock Falls.
Yeah.
So like I don't get mad when I don't have a ton of orders around here. But like what's been really, and we talk about a lot, what's hurt me a lot is like that I'm an online business and like I haven't had a single sale outside of Illinois basically. Like besides Dino, he's a friend, he's in Texas. Joey, friend in New Hampshire. Besides friends that I have that have been in different states, I don't have like a single sale from like a random person.
Yeah.
Like, and that's been hard for me to
that's something
that's been hard
figure out
for
how
me.
to get that out there more, and where John Brady might be able to help you with that because he has online too. He might be able to help you give some connections for that one.
Yeah, because that's been the one that's been hard for me to like get over. Is like, how have I not, especially even spending money on ads, how did I not have like there's not a single person that I don't know that has an order. And like I said, this is no knock against anyone that's ordered, no knock to people that order in Rock Falls. Because if you order in Rock Falls, I fucking really appreciate that shit. It's just the fact that like we talked about it before, you don't get rich off people you know. Like I love your support and thank everyone for the support. But it's like, damn, bro, like I'm online and I can't even get a sale from fucking Joe Schmo in fucking New York. You know, like not even one sale from somebody I don't know.
That's how when we first opened, that's how it was. Like I said, with friends and that, and I'm like, that's your biggest downfall. Will be like you think your friends are gonna make your business. They're not gonna make it. It's gonna be the people that you don't know. Because I'm like, I have all these friends. I got all these friends. They're all gonna be ordering. And I'm not even telling you to order once a week. I'm saying maybe once a month. Come in and help now. See them maybe once a year. It's like, really? Like I know you eat. I know you eat.
Like I said, I've been blessed with like some good friends that do support every drop.
Yeah.
And I'm not knocking that. It's just like and I'm not mad that I'm getting only those sales. Like it's just like it sounds bad, but like I feel like I just feel like I haven't made it until I get a sale from somebody I don't know. Like I don't know. So
it'll come.
That's always been the hardest thing so far.
I mean, we do it. We have a lot of regulars that support us. They still support us always.
They are. Like I know them now, but
always have done stuff and then have relayed it on, and just said, gotta try this JW's wings. You gotta try this JW's. You gotta, and we've had a lot of people do it, and that's kind of helped spread the word. But I mean, there are still certain people that it's like, dude, I'll never see you. But then I'm not there as often anymore. And then they're like, I was just in last night. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't there. And they'll come back with, because you're never there anymore. So it goes both ways, But yeah, I mean, at the beginning it was hard because, like I said, I thought I was gonna freaking get rich and be freaking phenomenal in a year, and I had all these people, and we did all this marketing and everything, and just it didn't work. And then we slowly change our marketing. We started going into schools and doing concessions and getting word out at like fundraisers, and I couldn't tell you how much stuff we have fundraised and how many benefits we've given stuff to, probably $100,000, hundreds of $1,000s of the much I've given out in 18 years. I mean, we go through so much stuff, and it's another thing where it's like a lot of people around here, other business owners do it, some of them don't, and some of them get all the recognition and some get none. I've never asked for anything, never asked for any pat on the back, but I still get thank you cards from certain people and everything, and I appreciate it.
You just got one last week.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. But then there's other people that don't do anything, and they get all the recognition for everything, and it's just like,
I've been doing that forever.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it'll come. It's just going to take a while. That's probably your biggest obstacle, time. Because you just want to have it right now. I want to do this right now, and you just got to wait.
It's hard to. It's just also hard because, like, even though you keep saying I'm young, like 25, bro, I feel like I just like, fuck, dude, time's ending.
Yeah, like it feels like I was in a restaurant. I was already married with 2 kids at 25. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it just feels like, fuck, I don't have that much time. Like, I feel like 25 seems so old now, and it's just not. Like 25 seems like I feel like I'm like 40. I don't actually feel that way, but I feel like that's what, like, when I hear I'm 25, that's how I feel. Like, I'm fucking 40.
Yeah.
But I'm not. Like, shit, if I'm successful by 30, I still got a long time fucking.
Like I said,
spend that money, make that money,
until 32, 33. And then I went 10 years after that, and then probably another couple years struggling. Just within the last few years, finally paid off some bills and put some money in the bank, and finally, hopefully, keep going higher.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about all I got for you.
I think that's good too. I mean, talked about a lot of shit. I don't know how long this episode is going to be. Like, I for real don't know what time we started talking.
I think we started at like 6. I think.
Hopefully, like, this will be 2 parts. Hopefully the business part is long enough. Even if it's like, I know it's at least 20 minutes. So
I think we started on talking on this
7:20, 7:10.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah, so I'd say it's probably going to be like an hour and a half, and then somewhere around 45 minutes, hopefully. But now, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I'm
Everybody
sure you saw
Papa J-Dub.
Yeah, appreciate my dad. If you guys don't know him, Justin. JW's third base in Rock Falls. Come support. But also, like, it's our first in-person episode ever. It's gonna be crazy, especially because it's like the first episode of a new season, and we're in person, so that's weird.
My face is red as fuck. Hot as fuck.
Yeah,
my face
I've
is
been
all
sweating my
face
ass
is
off.
red.
I'm gonna sweat my ass off. Yeah, I got pit stains. This is an unreleased shirt, you guys. Just so you know, this will be dropping
It's
whenever
nice
I drop.
Too. Nice one.
It'll be this is a higher end one. It'll probably be around $35-$40.
It's a nice shirt.
I like for people that want them. I'll spill some news on when we do drop. I plan on dropping this high end one, and then this the same design on like a cotton t-shirt for a cheaper price. So people that like want this design, because it's really not like as simple as it is. Like, this is a really cool, like, just basic, nice, simple design. It's just our spiral logo, right? Like, it just looks really nice. It's a clean look. So anybody that doesn't want to spend the money on like the higher end version, there'll probably be like a $25 to $30 version of the cotton one that's screen printed. This one is like I don't really remember this material, but it's embroidered. So it's just a way higher end. These will be dropping in the next drop. Also, for being in first person, it was really weird. He'll tell you how fucking I was super nervous to do this episode. It's weird being on here with him. I don't know why, but I told him that I don't even like when he'll be at work listening to my podcast, and I have to walk away. Like, I don't like listening to him here. It like makes me feel like real anxious. So
I told him just relax. It's just like we have these conversations all day long at work, all day long. Same conversations, just in front of a camera and a microphone. That's it.
Yeah. So it took a minute. Like I almost texted him. I didn't want to. He called me. Thank God, because I was gonna text him and say, "Yo, I'm not feeling like recording today." And he called me and said, "I'll be there in 30 minutes." It's like, fuck. So then I had to get ready, and then he got here, and it took me like 25. Well, first I was setting some shit up because I thought these mics were gonna work. That didn't, so I had to move this mic. But then, anyways, after I got everything set up, it took like 20 minutes to start just because I was super nervous. Like, I was just like moving shit around and stuff, and just nervous. But thanks for listening, guys. We'll be back soon. Hopefully, this comes out sooner than I expected. Follow all socials: authentic.vibes.only on Instagram and TikTok. And then YouTube is just Authentic Vibes Only, like no spaces. This will be out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And yeah, look forward to what's coming up. There's a lot of exciting stuff. Just be patient with me. I know I have supporters, and some of you guys are really looking forward to shit, but just be patient and everything will come. And hopefully it'll come sooner than later. But yeah, we're working on a lot of shit right now, and then hopefully this episode, like I said, comes out by sometime in May. And if you're hearing it by May, glad you guys are listening.
Peace out, boys.
Thanks, guys.
Ha! A free falling like I'm skydiving. Teacher and student, 2 worlds colliding. I love music, I don't abuse it. Take your crafts and you infuse them. Say you're normal, that's kinda weird. In deep thought, stroking my beard. Head of the table, saying my cheers. Ended up grateful for all the tears. Ready to grind for years. Been loving what's in the mirror. Ready to grind for years. Been loving what's in